What's up, YouTubers? This is your guy, Mr. Evaluator. And good morning. It's a beautiful night. Beautiful morning. Birds chirping, sitting back in the skies. Okay, so you might be wondering what I'm about to do. I'm going to debunk 5D scaling, 6D, and all of this nonsense. And basically Kratos. Okay, so basically I've been in a debate with an individual noob who said that he calls himself the Belt. And he said that Kratos scales 5D. And they literally stated with the noob fallacy limit, and said that a fifth dimensional character cannot be the sixth dimensional character unless he proves otherwise. So up until the point that the character does not prove that he can attack a sixth dimension, that means that he can't attack the sixth dimension. And attacking a sixth dimension with the attack potency, means that you can destroy anything underneath it, and that means that the character is infinitely bigger than that character. So when you really go into the playing field, a four-dimensional plane means that you can move four directions infinitely, versus a fifth-dimensional plane that can move 5 different dimensions infinitely. So it goes to show you geometry, mathematically, the fifth dimension is bigger than the fourth dimension. But I'm going to prove to you how that does not apply to the logic and the anime. See, we pretty much have that Batman and the entire Justice League left their third dimension and went to the fifth dimension to go fight the Justice League from the fifth dimension. As you probably see on this comic panel, that this means that the Justice League in the fifth dimension should be infinitely bigger than the Justice League in the third dimension. Are you following me? But they're not. When you turn to the different page, you can actually see that they're all the same sizes and they're just basically attacking each other. And pretty much just like this other comic right here, where we have Batman in just regular Gotham City, he's still sitting in his own third dimension. We see a giant penguin. Cobblepot standing over Batman while he sits at the top. Does this mean that he is infinitely bigger than him? No, it's just a cover page. That's just basically how the artist decided to draw it, because he wanted to depict to his audiences that Batman is dealing with Cobblepot. Like he has a serious feud and a serious battle with Cobblepot. So the main point of this comic is fighting and dealing with Cobblepot, as we've seen multiple times throughout all of the DC universe. When a character is depicted to be bigger in size than another character on the front page of the cover, they're just only identifying that this is the problem that the characters in the comic are going to be dealing with. So theoretically, when they showed you that Batman is holding a small Justice League inside his hands, they're not saying that the character is fifth dimensional, infinitely bigger than they are. No, they're just showing the audiences that the character will be the Justice League's biggest and main problem. So when you really go through the comic, you can actually see Batman and the Justice League actually fighting themselves in the fifth dimension. And they're not having it's not a stomp for the fifth dimension Justice League. It's not a backslap. It's none of that. They're fighting and they're trading hits with another. You can even actually see that Superman standing beside Superman from the fifth dimension. He's actually telling him about himself, and it's not even depicting that he's infinitely stronger and bigger. So in this case of power, this Superman should be 5 dimensions infinitely stronger than Superman, and 5 times infinitely stronger than him, while Superman would just be 3 times infinitely strong. So this means that this is stupid. So this debunks the new fallacy. Because we have Batman who has capabilities, right? And his capabilities is his fighting methods. Batman from the fifth dimension should have 5 times as much. He should have 5 times as much, infinitely. He should literally have 5 times as much than Batman in his fighting methods. He should be better than Batman 5 times as much, but he's not. He's actually trading hits with him, and they're actually tacking each other up. Oh, that means that Batman has fifth dimensional attack potency. No, it doesn't. Because when they do leave the fifth dimension, they still fight other opponents, the same opponents they basically fought from before in their third dimension. But they're still able to trade hits with those opponents from the third dimension after they left the fifth dimension, trading hits with themselves from the fifth dimension. So that means they're supposed to be backslapping everybody in the third dimension. But if it's not, then does that mean that everybody who's never shown to go to the fifth dimension, but only showed to attack people that was able to attack a fifth dimensional character that has a fifth dimensional attack potency, but they haven't showed otherwise, but attack the character who has fifth dimensional potency? And because they could actually do that, that means that the unknown character that attacked Wonder Woman only from the third dimension has fifth dimensional attack potency? Do you see where this is going? It doesn't make sense. Geometry does not equate to the equation. For those of you who don't know what the word equate means, what I'm saying is it's not equal to. It's not mathematically right. It's not mathematically correct. It doesn't equate to the problem. It doesn't equate to their powers. So the Justice League just debunked the entire noob fallacy. And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, point blank and period. And now we have Kratos, right? I don't know if I said before, but they stated in the game that Kratos was able to travel through the 9 realms because he used a Bifrost key, which was like a relic that was used, that he needed to use in order to cross to a different dimension. Like I said with the belt, they've never specified the dimensions in words. They never said that the rocks was more heavier or more bigger. All they said was just higher dimensions. And clearly it's just only 9 realms compared to Sparta and his home plane. And I mean, it's kind of stupid for them to say that Kratos and Doomslayer is 6D when they're not. They're not 6D. They just go to the 9th realm. But what these noobs do, because since they titled it the 9th realm, that means it has 9 infinite dimensions. They're saying it has 9 infinite dimensions. Now follow along. This is their logic. So when you go in Mortal Kombat, we got 6 realms in Mortal Kombat, right? Total 6 realms. And these 6 realms, right? The 6th realm, according to the noob logic, will be the 6th infinite dimension that moves infinite 6 times faster than any dimension. So that means everybody located in the 6th realm of Mortal Kombat should be superior, but they're not. They're not. We have characters that leave the 3rd dimension, which will be the 3rd realm of whichever is the 3rd realm, and actually fight them. But wait, let's give it a highball. Let's just say everybody in Mortal Kombat is 5D. All of their existence is 3D, is in between 3D and 4-dimensional. But it's still stupid because they fought Kronika because Kronika was above the entire MKU. She basically reset history. She has the power to record history. And this is also in a parallel universe. So what they did with Kronika in their universe proves to show you that they have gotten stronger over the years. These Mortal Kombat characters have gotten stronger over the years and throughout all the fights and battlings and trainings with Mortal Kombat. As I showed you from before, there's layers of omnipotence, there's layers of having all sorts of infinite power, but up to the point to where Scorpion defeats Kronika in his parallel universe, he basically exceeds on and fight titans who scale far above the gods, far above the elder gods. So now Scorpion's capability is that he can restart time all over. He has the power to change history. He has the power to change history. And there's nowhere we see Kratos use any of this, do any of this, but fight gods. It doesn't matter if he's immortal. He doesn't have the power to change history or whatever, but Scorpion does. So this basically debunks the entire noob logic with them actually saying that the five-dimensional character, four-dimensional character geometry equates to fictional characters, when once again they don't know what they're talking about. They're telling you something, they're only telling you something that what makes sense to them and what seems right. And I just showed you once again, they said a three-dimensional character cannot attack a five-dimensional character because the five-dimensional character is 5 times and infinitely bigger than the three-dimensional character. When we basically have Trigon fighting Mixie, who is a fifth-dimensional character who is infinitely fifth-dimensional and has shown to basically erase all of the DC comics. He's basically fighting with Trigon, who was located from the third dimension, and they actually said that Trigon has fifth-dimensional attack potency because he's proved otherwise. But in other words, we have Batman basically fighting the Batman from the fifth dimension and trading hits with Batman from the fifth dimension, and goes back to his own homeworld in the third dimension and wind up fighting the other guys in the third dimension. And he's not backslapping them because I guess it means that those guys compare to Batman with fighting regular attack potency on a fifth dimensional scale, which is stupid and it doesn't make sense. They're only saying this because it makes sense to them, and every noob in the power scaling community uses this method because it all makes sense by the main noob creator who created the system, so his noob fellow brothers and sisters could follow him all the way to the noob land of oblivion. I'm going to put a pin in this post. I don't want to stay too long. I have much to do. Mr. Evaluator